Hey guys, welcome to the unboxing video of the 1972 Chevrolet Vaterra Ascender. I'm super stoked about this. This is actually one of my favorite trucks of all time. So I can't wait to dig into it, see what we have. I've seen it before, I've seen it on YouTube, but now I have one of my very own. So I have not looked at this at all. I have no idea what the box says. I have no idea what the inside is like. I don't know anything. So I'm going to be experiencing this with you. And to prove that, it still has the seals. So I'm really excited. We'll see what it has to offer and we'll get into it. Alright. Selbst in der Welt der extremen Offroad Enthusiasm. That's not right. Nel Mondo degli Appassionati. That's not right either. Interment Assembile? No. Membre des Le Monde. I don't think this was designed or put together or supposed to be sold in the US. It says made in Taiwan. Well, hopefully there's some English parts. It has English words. Chevy, 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 RTR, English. Okay, let's flip the box over here a little bit. Oh, here we go. Ascender four-wheel drive chassis. This groundbreaking four-wheel drive platform takes scale technology to new heights with its features like stamped steel ladder frames. Stamped steel ladder frames, just to be clear. Over 45 degrees of steering travel, a metal gear transmission, and one of the most capable off-road suspensions available. Over 45 degrees, that's pretty impressive. 3-link pan-hard bar front suspension, 4-length adjustable wheelbase, floating battery tray over front axle. Ooh, that sounds interesting. 4-link rear suspension, we're all familiar with that pretty much. Crawler style bumper, not entirely sure what that means, but we'll go with it. Aluminum suspension links, awesome. Adjustable oil filled shocks, if they don't want it filled, you have a toy. Metal gear transmission, that's awesome. And heavy duty CV front shafts. Now my question is, if it has metal gears for the transmission, I wonder what the gears are in the diffs, because if you have metal gear in one place but not another, you can have some issues. So I'm going to turn this around and show you all the foreign languages. Have fun with that. Alright, so it is a shared passion for motorsports and radio control, extreme performance and extreme places. Cars and trucks that look and drive just like the real thing. Most of all, it's about gathering friends, gathering a vehicle, and having the time of your life. Now this is actually, I like this. I like this mantra. This is my mantra for this channel. This is my mantra for the reason why I'm getting into RC. It's to bring people together, get outside, get away from Netflix, get away from going to movies and gaming all the time. Go do something real and authentic. I like this. That's the first time I've read it. That's just pretty sneaking cool, actually. Alright, even in the world of extreme off-roading enthusiasts, there are varying degrees of devotion. I'd agree with that. For most, it's enough to take an SUV or pickup off the streets, lift it, drop in a big bore engine, and hit the trails. Then there are the builders, guys with a vision and a blowtorch. Not content with the status quo, they cut, weld, and create thoroughly unique off-road machines that are as much art as they are feats of engineering. This incredibly scale recreation of a customized 1972 K10 pickup is a tribute to these visionaries. It's built on the proven Vaterra Ascender chassis and comes ready for scale competition with a functional spare tire and wheel. Waterproof electronics, aluminum panels, and more. Let's see, we have a licensed body, licensed tires, Ascender chassis, I would assume, Spectrum 2.4 gigahertz waterproof receiver, woohoo! Dynamite waterproof ESC, even better yet. Although I think it might have a little bit of problem handling 3-cell after a little while. So I'm not too impressed with the ESC if it's what I think it is. If it's like the standard Vaterra ESC, they're not bad, but they have a little bit of a problem handling high power. So we'll see how that works. And then the Spectrum waterproof Metal Gear servo. The waterproof servo I really enjoy. Check out the SCX10 video I did with the servo. It wasn't so waterproof. Adjustable oil-filled shocks. Yay! Shaft-driven four-wheel drive drivetrain. Shaft-driven four-wheel drive drivetrain. Metal Gear transmission with sealed differentials. Oh, the sealed differentials are pretty cool. All right, let's see what else have I missed here. We have what it comes with. Sweet. It comes with a Spectrum transmitter, 4 AA batteries. Wait, it comes with the batteries? Included for use with the transmitter. Sweet. Needed to complete a rechargeable battery. Oh, other battery. 2S LiPo is what they recommend. Shorty pack with EC3 connector. Got that on check. And then a charger. Awesome. I think we're ready to go. Let's rip this thing apart and have some fun and see what's inside, shall we? Handy dandy razor blade that is really, 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 really dull, but it should do the job to cut this little seal. Maybe. Ha, twice. Takes 2 cuts. That's okay. All right. Are you ready? I am. Let's figure out what's inside here. Maybe vacuum sealed? All right. That can go in there. Oh. It's pretty. It's shiny. Oh, you want to see? Oh, okay. It's shiny. And new. All right. Now, pull out the goodies we'll get to here in a moment. Alright. This piece in the front doesn't have anything in it, so throw it on the ground. Alright, now we have a better view. I think at this point we could actually pull it out and check it out. Oh, a zip tie. It's alright. We have a wonderful pamphlet that I will read, not in front of you because that would be very boring, but I will have a couple words to say about this. Read your manuals when you get a car or a truck, an RC. Read the manual. You may know 99% of everything that's in here, but I guarantee there's probably 1 to 5% that you do not know and that can help you in the future have a better and more successful ownership of your truck. So, off my high horse. Let's cut the zip tie off, shall we? Now, like your mama taught you and my mama taught me, always take the knife and cut away from you. Now watch, this will be the one time I actually cut myself with a razor blade. Alright, awesome. Zip tie accomplished. Well, I don't know if it's an accomplished zip tie. I don't know if I went to school or not, but in this case it's no longer available. We have batteries inside with some plastic bits. Oh, a servo horn. Oh, some tools. Awesome. No idea what that's for. I think we'll figure it out. Oh, is that a support? That must be a brace of some sort. We'll find out. Okay, anything else in this lovely box? Nope, I don't think so. Alright, next piece here. We'll get into the truck last because that's the most exciting part, right? So, we know what those pieces are. And puzzle of getting into a box. Oh, this is going to be the transmitter. I'm wondering if they gave us a transmitter. It'd be awkward to give an RTR without a transmitter. Okay, kind of transmitter Spectrum, as they said. Woohoo! So Axial uses tactic transmitters and receivers, which they're alright. I really like Spectrum transmitters though. So we'll see how it works. We have the ADC. ADC? This has ADC? Not sure why. If you're going fast enough to use ADC, you shouldn't have bought this truck. I'm just saying. And then your steering trim, throttle trim, power. Oh, and a bind button. Nice. And of course your reverse buttons on top. Batteries go in just like you'd expect. 4 AA's. Check. They're right there. Awesome. Now, let's look at the truck. You excited? I'm very excited. Oh, look at this. It has a wing nut. Little wing nut for the spare tire. Does it work? That's the question. Little details, you know. Oh, yeah, it works, I think. No, maybe not. Does it? Yes? No? Yes? I think it does. And it's working. Man, to scale though, this wing nut would be 18 inches. About, maybe 15 inches, I don't know. Something. It'd be a big wing nut. And it would have to weigh a metric ton. That thing would have to weigh at least 50 pounds. Alright. That's okay. It's actually a functional tire and a functional wheel. Cool. Let's access straight down to the ESC. Not that you're going to use that access, but that is interesting. It's also interesting that the ESC has literally no protection from anything. Look. It just goes straight through. I can see you through the ESC. Well, not through the ESC, but around the ESC. Alrighty then, that is very interesting. Let's put this back on. Put the 50-pound wing nut back on. You know, one of the things I do like about this, I like the fact that they took a little extra care. If you look at the top here, there's this little piece of film, this little thin film here. And they also had that piece of styrofoam over the top of it. It's to protect the paint from getting scratched. They really thought about keeping this in really good shape. They obviously haven't seen me drive. Of course, I always try to keep the best care of my machines, but things happen. Alright, now what I read, yeah, there we go. Suspension is very, very stiff. And so for rock crawling, it's not necessarily the best. I do like the way it feels, though. I mean, I bet if you dropped it off, you know, 50 foot away, I've done that. Maybe that'll be good for me. Okay, so let's see. Clips on the front. Now, where are the clips in the back? I do see clips there, but you know, is this just one piece? I think this is just one piece. How does this just? No, no, it doesn't. Okay, so you must have to. No, they're there. Okay. Clips on the bottom. That's interesting. Unique placement, for sure. Alright, so the pins were there, or the cotter keys were there. I kind of actually like that. That's pretty sweet. That's really sweet, actually. These little posts, it's down, slide right into the holes, and so it keeps it rigid. I like that. So you don't have these posts, these flimsy posts sticking up like on the SCX10 and the SCX10-2 and any other RC basically out there for the most part. Vaterra does a pretty good job with their bodies. I really like this. It's reinforced. If you drop this, it's not going to bend as much. Nice. They have the Vaterra logo right on the back here. Attention to detail. You're never going to see that, but they actually spent the time to put it there. Nice branding, K&N, of course, Vaterra, Magnaflow, Yukon, Fox. So I haven't called this number yet, but from what I've been told, this is actually the support line. So that's kind of cool. It says Vaterra Garage. Interesting, it's a Twin Hammers, which was the other vehicle that I really wanted to purchase. I've had one before and they are awesome. A lot of people gave me crap for it, but that's okay. Alright, body aside, now let's look at this thing in depth, shall we? I'm not going to go too in depth because I don't want to dismantle the whole thing, but okay, so we have, hey, look at that. Not only is it a chrome looking diff cover, but it also has a protector down at the bottom to protect that chrome when it goes bouncing over rocks. Does it have in the front? It does have one in the front as well. That's pretty fantastic because the diff covers always get damaged. Even if that wasn't chrome, that's pretty cool having a cover there so you can just replace the cover versus the whole diff cover. Huh, cover for the cover. Who'd have thought? I like the tires. A little stiff for me. I'd like to have a little more pliable tires, but that's okay. I think that'll be nice. Okay. Ooh, that sounds nice. It's a 35 turn Dynamite, I think. Yep, Dynamite 35 turn. Ooh, I like the diffs. I like the diffs. I'm sure the diffs are fine. But what I really like are the drive lines. I like how that CV joint's actually part of the diff. I say that now until I use it and realize I have to work on it. It's probably going to be a pain in the butt to work on, but I digress. Metal and, oh, CV joints in the front for the steering as well. They like CV. I don't see one U-joint on this rig. Now what I do see is a telescoping driveline, and typically, at least with Axial products, the telescoping drivelines tend to have issues, and if you put a lot of power behind them, they twist and pretzel. So I'm going to have to do some research. I don't plan to run a lot of power through it though. I mean, it's a 35 turn, which has a lot of torque if you run a 3-cell, but this little tiny ESC, this is the ESC I was thinking it was. It doesn't handle 3-cell very well. In fact, I don't know if it will at all. I'm pretty sure it will. From what I've read, it will, but I'm not quite sure. I'm not going to be pushing this truck with 3-cell unless I'm going to do a complete repower, so I'm not concerned about it. It does look like this is a waterproof box, albeit I'm not sure how well I trust it. Traxxas uses things like wax that they stuff up in here to waterproof some of their boxes, receiver boxes. I don't know if Vaterra does that or not yet. I will find out and let you know. All 4 shocks are adjustable, which is kind of cool. In this case, it's not really the spring rate that I'm concerned. Oh, well, whoa. That just distracted me. This is a progressive suspension. And what that means is if you look, the bottom part of the spring is one spring, and then you have another spring on top of it. Notice how they're 2 separate springs. So you're going to have different rates as you go down. That's really cool. I dig that a lot. Of course, you do have the 4-link like we discussed earlier by reading the box. Again, reading is good. You know, one thing that I just really got spoiled with the SCX10 too. The 2nd edition there, they made a lot of really good improvements. One of the things they did is they put hubcaps. So basically, it's a little tiny plastic nut that went over the top of this nut. And it kept the threads from getting dirty, gritty, nasty. I think I might go to see if I can find some other hubcaps from another SCX10 too, or order them online, or go to your local hobby shop. I don't have a hobby shop near me, so I will probably end up going online. But those are awesome. They really, really are. Those little hubcaps. They seem silly, but it really protects things when it gets gritty and nutty. Well, maybe not nutty, but at least gritty. Alright, now they said this battery tray is dynamic, so it is. I don't know if I like that. That's kind of weird. Okay, see the battery tray, when I push up on the suspension, it actually moves the battery. Which I suppose, it's kind of cool, it'll keep the center of gravity lower. Actually, I kind of do like that a lot. You know what else? I think, am I looking at that right? Oh yeah. Hey, that's pretty cool. So that battery box, tray I guess, when you push on the suspension, if it goes left or right, of course it's on a swivel, so it'll maintain its orientation. So that's kind of cool. What else can we see on the bottom here? Of course, we discussed the CV axles in the front. I like this build quality. Oh, and the chassis appears to be adjustable, which is stinking cool. I think we read that on the box too now that I think about it. And it looks like there are just 4 screws. Yeah, pretty sure, unless I'm missing something. So these 2 screws on this side and 2 screws on the other side would, if you remove these, this front piece should slide in and out. That's pretty awesome. Huh. I like the aluminum 4-link. That's fascinating. The support for the diff. It's only 1 in the front, there's 2 in the back. Not sure why that is. Maybe the battery box is the second one. That's probably what it is. That's crazy cool. Not entirely sure why we have those red pieces of plastic for the support on the servo, but I do like the fact that the servo is chassis mounted and not axle mounted. That's pretty awesome. What about flex? It's alright. I would say that SCX10 gives a little more flex maybe. You know what? A lot of that's suspension. That's better. Again. So here, check this out. So this is why you don't want to have really stiff suspension when you're going rock crawling. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this front right tire up relatively quickly and then watch what happens to the back tire. Notice how it lifts up first and then settles? We'll do it again. That's not good when you're rock crawling because if you drop, your back is going to go with you. It's going to assist in a dynamic rollover situation. No bueno. Not good at all. Check out some of my epic fail videos. They're scary. And although SCX10 did an awesome job, and I still can't believe that nothing was damaged other than the body, you still just don't want to have to watch your rig go tumbling 100 feet down a cliff, because that's just not fun. Listening for it a few seconds later, hearing it go splat, or thud in that case, that's just a scary thing. So let's go ahead and bring the SCX10 Mine's kind of dirty, I haven't washed it and cleaned it yet, but I am just really excited to see what they look like together. This is so beat up. It's kind of sad. Alright. Okie dokie. Side by side, oh wow. The SCX10 is quite a bit longer. They look about the same height. Maybe the Vaterra's a little, oh, that's just the suspension's really stiff. Okay. So now let's look at these things with the tops off. This poor little guy, I need to replace it. Bodies are expensive. It's like $80, $90 for a new body, and I kind of want to use the stock body, but maybe this would be a good opportunity for me to get a clear body, teach you how to paint. Okay, let's pull this off, set it over here. Yeah, now you can see the difference here. Let's see if we can match this up appropriately. Yeah, you can see the difference in the wheels there. SCX10 is quite a bit longer, especially when it comes to the bumpers. Holy monkeys. Okay, let's find out what's like. Well, this body doesn't add anything. Oh yeah, a little bit. Okay, so let's do that. Put the body on, because that does add an inch or two. Yeah, it's just not even fair. I have a feeling this Vaterra is going to be an animal off-road. I wonder which one's more scale. Well, that's interesting. Alright, let's look at flexibility here. You know what? This isn't as great of flexibility as I thought it was originally. Remember, we gotta wait for that suspension to settle here. You know what? I'm gonna say it's a toss-up for flex. Yeah. That's just cool. I don't know why that's cool to me, but it always has been. When another truck gets on top of another truck's tire. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty dang close. Now the tires are interesting because the tires appear at least to be a little narrower and a little taller on the Vaterra. That'll make for some interesting crawling. I don't know. As far as, I mean, they're just so close as far as height, dimensions, height-wise anyways. Now, of course, the Vaterra is a bit narrower, if you notice that. Like, a lot narrower, but that mainly has to do with these rock sliders. And I kind of like that. It leaves for a more of an authentic driving experience, more scale or realistic if you've ever been jeeping. Of course, when you use rock sliders, it's always a little unnerving, but. So they both have adjustable suspension. The Vaterra does have that progressive spring, which I do like. They both have the battery up front. The Vaterra, you're limited to a shorty pack. Some people don't like that. I don't mind it so much, honestly, especially if you look, the the battery sits a lot lower. A lot lower. It's pretty much resting on the axle, whereas this is above the axle entirely. So you have a lot less. Oh, that's a good point. So when the SCX10 rolls, the battery is going to roll with it, increasing the weight and the momentum for it to roll over, which obviously I have a lot of problems with that. If you look at this body, I have a lot of problems with rollovers. So that's driver skill. It's not this truck's fault. But this one, the battery actually sits on the axle, and even if you roll, the battery itself, it still stays, the weight, the majority of the weight is going to stay on the axle itself. So it's going to have a less chance of increasing the dynamic rollover aspect of it. Man, I really like that. The one thing I don't like is I don't like the noise of the springs as they move up and down. That's just a pet peeve of mine, though. I do like the bumper. I like the fact that it's not 8 million yards out in front of the tires. Well, actually, it's not much different, really. It's a little shorter. It is. But next to the body, when the body's on it, I bet, yeah, it's not very much further away from the grill, whereas the SCX10 2, I know you're here, there you are. Yeah, so this has 2 knuckles. This has a knuckle. Awesome. I really like this truck. I can't wait to run it for you and get to show you what it looks like running and what it feels like and drives like. And then I'd love to show these 2 trucks off side by side